Okay, hey everybody, it's Monday evening. It's Eric here with the Valley's most in-depth weather forecast video. We call it Weather for Weather Geeks. Hope you had a good weekend. Our weather today was warm, yes, but it was a nice day. The humidity was not too bad. Wanted to start out this evening talking a little bit about precipitation trends of late. It's actually kind of drying out. Now, of course, the airport's located in Vienna in Trumbull County, and this has been one of our drier spots. I'm going to show you a map in a second, but over the last week, only a trace of precipitation at the airport. That was on Thursday. Today was 4 days in a row of no trace of precipitation at the airport, tying us for the longest streak of the year. We haven't done 5 in a row, and there's a chance we squeeze in 5 in a row. If one of these random showers or storms tomorrow afternoon misses the airport, then we might get to 5 days in a row. But yeah, this particular spot in this particular county has been fairly dry. Other places have been quite a bit wetter so far in July, and even over the last week, we've had a big difference between a lot of Trumbull County and the rest of the region. So let me show you what I mean by that. Here's our precipitation over the last week. Hardly anything. Central parts of Trumbull County, a little bit more on the edges, and then certainly much more as you get down into Mahoning County, Columbiana County, Mercer County. I live in Boardman. I've had over 4 inches worth of rain so far this month, while the airport has had 1.75 or so. So there's a big difference from north to south. Lawns are still pretty green down here, and yeah, lawns are getting pretty brown across areas north of Interstate 80. All right, temperature-wise, I did not include the last couple of days on this, but as you can see, we've had a lot of above-average temperatures, and with the heat that's coming, yeah, July's going to go into the record books as a pretty toasty month when all is said and done, compared to the average, of course. Speaking of hot weather, you may remember this heat wave back in midsummer of 1995. It was a 3 or 4 day stretch of pretty extreme heat. We had a lot of upper 90s, and it kind of peaked on this date back in 95 with a high of 98 at the airport. So we don't get above 98 very often. I talked about last week a triple-digit heat, the history here locally. We've only had 6 days going back to 1930 of 100 or higher as far as high temperatures go. So once you get up into the upper 90s to around 100, that's pretty rarefied air as far as the temperature records go around here. All right, our dew point spent most of the day today in the 50s, which in midsummer we consider that to be pretty comfortable. The kind of the magic threshold, if you will, between the humidity being a non-story and it's starting to feel kind of muggy, we consider it to be about 60 in most of summer. And we're starting to sneak above that line right now, and once you get above 65, close to 70, that's when most people say, oh boy, it's really humid outside. And that much more humid air has been sitting over central and southern Ohio and western Ohio for a lot of the day today. And where that air is more humid, we've had some pop-up showers and some thunderstorms from Detroit down I-75 to Toledo and Dayton and into Cincinnati as well. Actually, as of about 7:03, a couple of these real small cells are trying to sneak all the way as far east as Cleveland, but I think these are going to peter out pretty quickly over the next hour or so, and we have a dry forecast here for tonight. This is what's left of Barry. This, of course, was the tropical system that impacted parts of the Gulf Coast over the weekend. The remnant low is pivoting through parts of Arkansas into Missouri right now. This is going to continue, as all remnant lows do, weakening as it moves over land, and by the time it reaches us on Wednesday, it's going to bring us a pretty good chance for rain, but the center of that low pressure system will be harder and harder to find on weather maps. All right, so Jupiter and Saturn have been bright for a couple of weeks now, of course, and well, tonight Saturn is going to be right next to the moon. So once we see the moon rise here a little after sunset, moon's going to be full tomorrow night, almost full tonight, just to the left on the northern side or the upper side of the moon. You'll find Saturn, and then right of that pair, it'll be Jupiter. So a nice evening to check that out in our southern sky. All right, more humid tomorrow. More cloudiness will be a story tomorrow. It's not going to be as nice and sunny as it was today. Now, the activity tomorrow, as far as showers and storms go, it's going to be real random hit or miss stuff, and the coverage won't be real high. But you might get a downpour here and there, especially as we go past 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. By far and away, the better chance of rain for the entire week is definitely on Wednesday. This is our remnant low, which was once Barry, bringing us a few rounds of showers and some thunderstorms. Rain could occur at any time on Wednesday. Best chance for some thunderstorms maybe in the afternoon, but rain could occur at just about any point on Wednesday. This stuff can come and go and bring a tropical downpour to some spots, and then we scour out the moisture as far as rain goes on Thursday, but we're not going to scour out the humidity. It's going to be very muggy at the end of the week. Wednesday is the day that has the best chance for rain, also the highest risk for some localized flooding. Now, the good news is for some places, we've dried things out lately, so the ground can handle a little more water than a couple or a few weeks ago. But tropical downpours will be a possibility on Wednesday because of just how juicy the atmosphere is, not only in the lower levels, but up through the mid-levels as well. Once we get through Wednesday, boy, the story is going to become the heat. This is going to be the most oppressive heat we've had so far this year. We're talking heat index values around the century mark, Thursday through Monday, and even, or Friday through Monday, I should say. And even on Thursday, this 88 may be a little underdone. Wouldn't be surprised if we had heat index values getting into the 90s on Thursday. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and perhaps even into Monday, that could be the worst of the heat. And so if your air conditioning is on the fritz, now's a good time to call the repairman, because you're going to need it later this weekend or the weekend. That being said, that kind of pattern is not going to lock in for weeks on end. It actually looks fairly different now in the longer range, the 8 to 14 day outlook. And so this would take us through the final week of July. Pretty decent odds of cooler than average temperatures across the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and Northeast as we wrap up July. So the heat that we'll see late this weekend to this weekend, it's going to be pretty intense. But then a pretty distinct pattern change will kick in next week. And that more comfortable, more tolerable pattern should take us through the end of the month. So some good news there if you're not a fan of the kind of heat that is on the way. Thanks for checking out Weather for Weather Geeks tonight. You'll see me, of course, tonight bringing you a full weather update on 21 News at 11. You can get the forecast anytime on the Storm Tracker 21 app. I'll see you back here on Tuesday.